you after that, but now I have the opportunity to ask, how is everyone?
You know, it's very tough. You have to remember they constantly have to sit and hear the same testimony. Probably one of the toughest things today is when the guy was talking about Trayvon was shot and how George Zimmerman tried to hold him down as he was suffering in his last moments. That was very tough. I mean,
But they never falter. They never waver. They're so stoic. Sometimes I wonder, how are they keeping it together? What kind of counsel are you able to give them? What kind of counsel is someone else able to give them just so that they can get through this psychologically?
well, first thing you say to them that you don't want a mistrial, so you tell them, look, you have to hold a lot of it in, right? And so they're doing their best to really hold it in to make sure that they don't show any outward emotions, that this jury doesn't see anything like that. But it's very tough because every time they hear that gunshot, right, it's reminded of his life.
And they believe those screams are their babies.
Yes.
And yet I watch them. I watch them in the courtroom when those tapes play over and over again, and they don't flinch.
Well, also, we've done some things to kind of draw their attention down just a little bit.
Like what?
Well, you can put things in their hand. Like you'll notice they have pads that I've given them, right? Mm-hmm. They can write notes to me. They can write notes to themselves, right, about what's going on. Because as you know, in that courtroom, she doesn't even want us whispering among ourselves, whether it's the media or the family. So you have to communicate, non-verbally, which is what they've had to do.
So I tweeted from the courtroom the other day, I'm a mother, I have 2 little boys, and I look over to my right and I look at Tracy, and then, it's hard not to mention that the both of them sit together even though they're divorced.
Right.
And I wonder how Sabrina gets through her day, and I tweeted out, I'm really heartbroken looking at this mother who has lost a child. I don't care about the politics or the litigation or anything else that's going on right now. I'm looking at a mother who lost her baby. And I'm heartbroken. And immediately I was assailed. Well, are you heartbroken for George Zimmerman's parents and for George Zimmerman as well? And it feels as though you can't make a comment in this case without getting attacked from one side or the other. Do they get attacked? Do they feel the outward pressures that so many others have felt in this, what's become such a black and white battle and case?
They get attacked a lot. I mean, for example, in the course of the jury selection alone, you heard various comments about people who had misperceptions about who they are and what they are. What they are grieving parents who care deeply about their son and who've committed themselves to making sure that their son's life was not in vain, in both ways, whether it's a criminal prosecution or in the foundation efforts that they're working on as well.
So, a lot of people are saying, boy, this case is going well for the prosecution. Boy, this thing's in the bag. Wow, that prosecution witness sure sounded like a defense witness. And a lot of the analysts, not all, but a lot of the analysts are saying, I don't think they're going to win this case. I don't think the prosecutors are going to win this case. Do you talk to them in earnest about, as a lawyer, how it's going? And do you prep them for the possibility that may not be the outcome they want?
Certainly you talk about that, but you also talk about that you hope that this jury will follow the evidence in this case. We believe if the jury follows the evidence in this case, there will be a conviction.
So it's not as though you're having some epiphanies that other people watching this case who haven't been privy to the evidence all the way along. It's not as though Trayvon's parents are having epiphanies along the way saying, I didn't see it like that. I never noticed that. I didn't know that evidence before. Wow, that makes me think differently.
Well, I think that now we're getting to the nitty gritty. For example, when you hear the tape today that they played from the Hannity show, and then they talk about the focus of Trayvon on George Zimmerman's face, even if you believe that version of the story, right?
Putting his hands over his mouth and nose.
Right. It becomes very clear then that his notion that when as he was sliding that revealed his gun, when we now know that all of the focus was both his knees on the arms of George Zimmerman, allegedly, right, and his hands on the nose and the mouth, then you quickly know then that was the focus. And so this whole notion of his gun being exposed and that being the reason, but probably even more than that, he knew that the police was right nearby. And the testimony thus far is after he shot within 20 seconds or so, he saw the cops coming up. He did not have to kill Trayvon Martin. And I think after all of the evidence that this jury has heard, they are going to